Weird. Weird, weird, weird. Weird, weird, weird. Welcome, friends. Today I'm going to answer some questions that were sent to me through Instagram. I put up one of those anonymous question boxes and had people ask me questions. So let us begin. This first one I know is from my friend Dan because it's perverted. So I'm not going to answer that one. This is another strange one. Please give me pickup lines that always work. I have never once used a pickup line. I have never once went up to someone in a bar. So I can't help you out, but I would think that something like, hello, my name is Lee. May I buy you a drink? Would work out just fine. The worst food you've ever eaten. This one is hard. There's nothing that really sticks out as far as, oh shoot, that was really bad. But now that I think about it, I think that animal products are probably the worst food I've ever eaten, just because the idea of eating someone's body and drinking their milk and eating their eggs is just so disgusting to me now. So I'd have to say animal products with that one. So I want to start this one off by saying I read all of the questions, but I didn't put a lot of thought into them because I wanted this to be kind of unscripted. I do like the way that this particular question is worded. I'll read it now. What do you think about all the animals that have to be killed to grow your beans for your meat substitutes? I love that you are vegan and your heart behind it all. Just curious. So usually this one is framed in a different way. I normally hear you kill more animals in the fields than you would just eating a cow, which that would be true if cows and other animals did not eat, but they eat way more than what humans do if we were to eat that grain or beans or whatever directly. So I do want to do an entire episode about veganism and answer questions there, so I don't want to get too far into this, but obviously I feel terrible, but it causes the least amount of harm, and that's what veganism is about. And one reason I want to make a video about veganism is because I've seen a lot of comments and questions and discussions on other van life YouTube accounts talking about veganism, and I think there's a lot of misinformation going on. There's a huge difference between veganism and plant-based, and I just want to clear some things up about that. Not now, but veganism is an ethical standpoint, whereas plant-based is you just don't eat animals. So there's a large difference, and language is important. And also, I find it interesting that the last part of this is, I love that you're vegan and your heart behind it all. Just curious. I think that's funny. Not funny. I find that interesting because you don't say that to someone who doesn't eat cats or dogs. I think that being vegan is kind of the bare minimum. I don't think that vegans should be congratulated for not eating animals. I think that it's just, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. To me, it's just like, makes so much sense. Just like to you, it probably makes sense that you don't eat cats and dogs. That's how I view all animals. So to congratulate someone for not congratulate, but to admire someone or whatever the case is for being vegan, I think that that needs to be looked at further on your end. Why is it that you think that is admirable to be vegan, where there are certain animals that you don't eat yourself? That's that. All right. What's your long-term goal as far as living in the van? Is it a forever thing? I have no idea. I did not want to live in a van. It was not a dream of mine. I had some friends that built out a van and decided to live in it, and I thought that it was a wild idea. Nothing I would ever want to do, but because of my situation and wanting to stay in California, it was kind of my only option, and it was a little rushed because I didn't have a lot of time. I was kind of getting not forced out of where I was living, but I made a decision where I could no longer stay where I was living, so I had to make a decision quickly, and I purchased this van, already built out, but very poorly built out, because I didn't know if this is something that I'd want to continue full time. But I like it. I think that it aligns with a lot of my values. I think that although I'd love to buy land, I think that owning a piece of stolen property, stolen land, is really strange, especially for a white person. So I think if I would want to own land, it would have to be in, I don't even know where my family's from. I think Ireland or England, something, a place like that. That's the only place I would really feel comfortable owning land. And renting, I hate landlords. I think that they're scum. So paying a landlord is also not something that I really want to do. So living in this van avoids both of those things. So I'll continue it for as long as I can, I guess. But life happens, things change, so who knows? One friend you're thankful for. I can't choose just one. Obviously, my partner, Allie, we have a great connection. So something I'm working on in therapy is being able to recognize and identify my feelings and verbalize them. And I still have a hard time with that, but I'm working on it. I'm getting better. So my partner, Allie, we have a lot of the same ethics. We see things the same way. She's taught me a lot about myself and about being in a relationship and about a lot. It's hard for me to verbalize, but I'm working on it. Anyway, my friend Yvette means a lot to me. We're kind of not as close as we used to be because life happens, but our lives kind of mirrored each other. We were going through the same things at the same time. It was pretty interesting. So I know we both mean a lot to each other. And my friend Luke, who lives currently in Tennessee, he and his wife mean a lot to me. They help me out a lot. And I've actually known Luke since grade school. We don't really talk much at all anymore, but I know that he and his wife would be there for me in a second. Same thing, if they needed me for anything, I'd be there. So that friendship means a lot to me. And my friend Nick in Nashville, he taught me a lot as well. He is a personal trainer, so if you need a personal trainer, let me know. He does remote personal training and nutrition. He's been vegan for over 20 years, so he can help with that as well. Great dude. He taught me a lot about fitness and just about caring for yourself. And again, hard for me to put it into words, but I'd say those three folks mean a lot to me. There's a lot of other people in Nashville that mean a lot to me. That part of my life was huge. I grew so much in that, 4 years. More so than I did. I was in Wisconsin for over 30 years, moved to Nashville, and when I got to Nashville is when I kind of got into my own. So everyone in Nashville, thank you so much for being you and accepting me for who I am. Are you a backseat driver? I actually drive most of the time, so it's hard for me to say. But I will admit, when my partner drives, I think it may be a California thing. People in California drive way more aggressively than folks in Wisconsin. And so she drives very aggressively, and I have something to say about it from time to time. Introvert or extrovert? 100% introvert. I have social anxiety disorder, and it's something that I've struggled with my whole life, and something I'm working on, something I take medication for. And going out into crowds is hard for me. Yeah, I try to keep to myself, but that's, for me personally, that's not good. So again, it's something I'm working on, something I'm trying to address in therapy, and Allie has helped me out a lot with that. So yeah, introvert, but I wish that weren't true, and I'm trying to change that as much as I can. Another one from Dan. Gross. What's your favorite brand? I feel like maybe this is supposed to say band, but if it's brand, I'm sorry, and I don't have a favorite brand. I think that capitalism is trash. Buy local. I won't really call local companies a brand, but off the top of my head, I can't think of a brand that I would 100% be able to back without any doubts. But if you mean band, I can answer that one. Favorite musician is Jason Molina. He was behind the band Songs Ohia and Magnolia Electric Company. It's actually coming up on 10 years of his death. He drank himself to death. But if you're interested, I would recommend checking out the album Didn't It Rain by Songs Ohia. That little bad boy is it's rough to listen to. Everything he's recorded is rough to listen to, but that one especially. And his solo stuff is really good as well. Oh, and also lately I've been on a huge Zach Bryan kick. I love that he's making a name for himself. It sounds like, I don't really know 100% of his story, but it sounds like he was just a YouTube guy singing songs for his friends in his backyard after drinking beers and stuff. And now he's like, I think he's number 10 on the Billboard Top 100. And to see that type of country getting that popular is amazing, because country today is fucking terrible. It's so bad. But his lyrics speak to me a lot. I think, it's not, I'm driving my Ford to the fucking pond and drinking beers with the girls. It's actually meaningful stuff. So I actually listened to like his earlier stuff. I don't want to sound like pretentious, but yeah, I like it all. It's all good. Check it out. Whatever. What's your biggest regret about living in a van? I don't think I have any. It would have been nice to have either built my own, or after I bought this one already built out, had had time to and money to redo it how I like it, but I didn't want to put a ton of money into it in case it wasn't something I wanted to continue with. So it was livable when I bought it, and now I know that this is something I want to continue with. So now I'm making the changes on the road, which is super difficult, but I think it's the best option for me. So no regrets. I maybe wish I would have done it sooner in my 20s, but age is a number. My 30s, my late 30s were great. So yeah, no regrets. Another regret. What do you regret doing or not doing? That's tricky, because if I were to change anything that I've done in the past, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and I am content where I am today. I wish I would have went vegan earlier. I think that making that change probably wouldn't have really changed my trajectory that much. I do wish I would have left Wisconsin, where I'm from, earlier. I was afraid. And honestly, my dad he never wanted to leave his small little area that he was familiar with, and that rubbed off on me. And I was miserable there. So finally, I was able to get out. And again, my good friend Luke and his wife let me stay at their place until I found a job in my own spot. And I think that spending your whole life in the area where you were born is a huge mistake. You got to get out there. It's hard, but yeah. Although if I would have left earlier, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So who knows? There are a lot of things that I've done that I'm not proud of, or that I look at now and think, what the hell was I thinking? Yeah, if I were to change any of that, who knows where I'd be now. So it's hard to say. Sorry, these A lot of these answers are kind of like, I don't know. Does sandwiches prefer van life? I can't speak for her, but I think so. Because before I would take her out a couple times a day for a run or a walk, and then she's spending the rest of the time in the house while I was working. There was really no windows that she could look out, and now she can look out the windows all the time. She's always with me 100% of the time. We go on walks. She gets to see a lot of cool stuff. She loves car rides with her head sticking out the window. So if I had to guess, I would say she does, but she's also just like a super happy, laid back dog. I think she's just happy all the time, so she doesn't really care. What's your favorite sport? Hockey. I hate sports. I got into hockey maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, and I love it. It's so good. It's so fun, especially live. If you're not a sports person, go check out a hockey game live. I guarantee you'll have fun. But hockey's great. Go Bruins. They're doing amazing this year. So I just went to a Bruins game here in San Jose. They were playing the Sharks. They won. I had a blast. I fell after the game. I was running for some reason and fell. I had some vegan nachos from a vegan spot at the SAP Center. It was great. And I'm going to be relocating to a place where there's no team. So that's a bummer. I could either go like 3 hours south to LA or 3 hours north to San Jose. But whatever. Opinion on birds. Is there something where like people think birds aren't real? Is that why this is a thing? I don't know. I love birds. I have a chicken tattooed on my hands. Chickens are probably my favorite bird. Chickens are probably my favorite animal. Excuse me. Turkeys are super interesting. Their wattles will change colors according to their mood, and then they have a little snood, the thing that like hangs off the forehead, I guess. That will like droop down and come back up according to the mood. And some of them like to be cuddled. They'll jump right in your lap and put their wings out so that you can scratch into their wings. They're just super amazing creatures. All birds are amazing. All animals are amazing. Shit. But chickens are my favorite. So yeah, hell yeah to birds. Why are you such a babe? I don't know. Your worst personality characteristic. I think that I would have to know what you mean by worst. Worst for me or for others, you know? I'm pretty bad at communicating, something I'm working on, but that's not a personality trait. Personality trait. Maybe it's hard for me to forgive someone. If they wrong me, it's very hard for me to forgive them and to kind of see. Usually they do it because of something in their life. You know, they were hurt at some point, and so they're taking it out on you, or they're, you know, doing what they learned as a kid. Yeah, there's usually a reason why someone will do something bad towards you, and I have a hard time, even if I recognize it, my viewpoint is like, so fucking what? Just because that should happen to you doesn't mean you have the right to be a turd to me. And a lot of times it is the case, you know, I'm not them, I can't say. That's the best I can answer that one, I think. Yeah, I like this because it's really hard for me to talk about myself. So this kind of forces me to, and someone told me that I asked at one point, what do you guys want to see? Do you want to see more about like me or about my van build? And a friend's like, hey, we watch this for you. We can watch van builds anywhere. Like, make more content about you. And it's hard for me to do. So this kind of forces me to do it and makes me more comfortable doing it. So please, if you have questions that you'd like me to answer, put them in the comments, especially about veganism, because I will make something about veganism, but veganism is super important to me. So I'm going to have to put a lot of work into it. And speaking of that, next week is my 40th birthday, and so I promise I will put more effort into filming and editing the next video. It won't be just like thrown together like most of my other ones. I think I will get more joy out of doing this if I have a better finished product. Right now I have no motivation. I'm like, fuck this, because the finished product sucks. So it's not something I'm proud of. You know, if I can create something that I'm proud of and that portrays whatever message I'm trying to get across well, then I think that I'll do better at it. So this next one I promise will be good. It might take a little while to put it together, but also I'm going to be busy doing stuff for my birthday. My birthday is the 1st, February 1st. Today is the 24th, so I will probably, hopefully, release this tomorrow on the 25th. My birthday is in 1 week after that, but I'm going to be doing birthday stuff. So I'll be filming and doing who knows what. My partner has some things planned, and it's a surprise, so who knows. What do you think? You got anything to add? Guess not. All right. See you later. Thank you. Like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah.